The Insta360 X5 has a new shooting mode called Pure Video Mode, and it's a game changer for low light filming. However, it's not to be used every time that you shoot in low light, and there are a couple of tweaks that you can make to get the best results every time. I'm going to show you when to use it, when not to use it, and the settings that you may need to change. There's more to think about than you realise when you shoot in pure video mode, so stick with me until the end so you'll get better results with your videos. You can select pure video mode by swiping on the screen here, and the symbol is very similar to standard video mode but with the added diamond shape. And it's really important to know that you're using the correct mode, because otherwise you're going to be disappointed with your video results. So always double check which mode you're in. The one time not to use this mode is when you're filming in bright sunlight or even cloudy weather. For that you need to use standard video mode, which is this icon here. There is one exception to this rule though, and that's when you're moving from a bright sunlit situation outside into, say, a dark tunnel. So in this case here we would use pure video mode. Pure video mode is designed to increase the brightness in dark situations, where with other cameras or in standard video mode the results would be too dark or unusable. So just look at these comparisons here with the X4, where the X4 shots are way too dark and they barely pick up any usable detail. When I walk along the fence line here in my garden, the only light that I'm using is coming from the string lights along the fence, and there is a bit from the summer house as well. Shooting in standard video mode with the X4, the video is unusable and you can't even see the flowers, and the image is mushy and noisy. Using pure video mode with the X5, the results are pretty impressive and you can now see the flowers clearly. I'm really pushing the camera here though, probably in an unrealistic scenario, just to show you what the camera can do using this mode. So you can't expect to see completely clean images here with no noise. But even with the noise in some of these shots, what this mode does enable us to do is shoot things that we wouldn't have otherwise been able to shoot because there's not enough light. And where this mode works particularly well is for biking shots and driving shots at night. So does this mean that you should use this mode always as soon as it gets dark? And the answer to that is no. Sometimes when you shoot with this mode, particularly if you're shooting, say, at dusk when it just starts to get dark, this mode will increase the brightness to a point where your shot all of a sudden looks like late afternoon instead of an evening shot. And it can make a dark, spooky tunnel look too bright because it increases all the brightness levels, and then it can also look over-processed. In this tunnel, for example, I quite like the fact that it goes from dark to bright when you use standard video mode. With pure video mode, sometimes it tries to over-brighten everything because it doesn't know what you're focusing on in the shot and it doesn't know what type of look that you're going after. So if you're looking to capture something and you want it to look more naturally dark, then standard video mode may be a better choice in some scenarios. You may have also noticed in some of these shots that you've seen so far that they are very orange in places and oversaturated. So now I'm going to show you a quick hack with pure video mode to help you overcome that oversaturated orange look. So the oversaturated orange look comes from an incorrect white balance. So white balance makes sure the colour of our shots looks natural. So in general terms that means they're not too blue or they're not too orange. And even though pure video mode is shot in auto mode, it seems that the auto white balance tends to favour bluer daylight coloured lights. And not all artificial lights that we see at night are daylight colour, some of them are more orange. So anything that is warmer than daylight will actually look really orange when you're using the incorrect colour temperature. In an ideal world, it'd be great if Insta360 could add a couple of options here in the menu, not to overcomplicate it, but even if they added a 4300 degree Kelvin setting, then that would at least give you two different settings for different scenarios. So the workaround here is to swipe from the right of the screen and select the manual M symbol, and then you can adjust the white balance manually. At night under mixed artificial lighting, you're not going to get it perfect, but you will get it better in some scenarios than using the auto setting. So use your phone and select a different figure. The other setting that we can change here in the same part of the menu is the exposure value. The EV adjusts how bright the auto exposure is on your camera. So if we change the figures to positive numbers, then the exposure will automatically be brighter, and if we change it to negative settings, then the exposure will be darker. Now I know this may feel like that we're contradicting what the AI is doing here, but all we're doing is giving it a little helping hand to give you better results. So do a test, and in some scenarios I would suggest setting the EV to -0.3, and this will just take the edge off of that over bright default look and give you a more realistic, cleaner image. You have to experiment with when to use this mode and when not to use this mode, and then you'll learn how to use it more effectively. In this scenario, pure video mode worked perfectly. It's a darkened cave with reptiles in bright tanks, and the colour of the light from the tanks looks realistic, and if you compare it to standard video mode, the pure video mode really does reduce the noise in the shadows and makes the image a lot cleaner. I will be using pure video mode in those darker situations where otherwise you just wouldn't be able to film. But there is a learning process here, and the choice to use it or not can be very subjective. Let me know if you have any questions or comments, and if you haven't bought your X5 yet, then use my link below and you get a free lens kit. You can watch this video next for more tips on the X5, and I'll see you over there.